Okmulgee, a dense wilderness in southern Georgia, where nature seems peaceful but is being ravaged by one of the most destructive invaders on the planet, wild hogs. Thousands breed uncontrollably, tearing up the land, spreading disease, and causing over 1.5 billion in damage every year. Against such cunning enemies, only professional hunters have the skill and courage to reclaim these lands. From the thick forests to the skies above Okmulgee, Liam, Noah, and Mark gear up for a relentless pursuit. Can humanity truly contain a creature that challenges the balance of an entire ecosystem? Wild Hunters, where we tell the stories of mankind's battles against the wild. In the Okmulgee forests, the fight against wild hogs isn't about simple traps or fences. It's a coordinated campaign between local farmers and professional hunters. They deploy ATVs, advanced hunting weapons, and packs of specially trained dogs to track and corner their targets. When needed, helicopters are brought in to cover large areas and provide aerial support. Each hunt is a true operation, disciplined, precise, and highly coordinated. Because against such a cunning and invasive species, only human unity can restore the balance. Realizing the growing threat of wild hogs, creatures tearing through farmlands, eroding the soil and destroying harvests with ruthless force, the people decided it was time to fight back. They joined forces with wildlife control teams, determined to protect what was left of their land. This time, Okmulgee and Liam stepped forward, armed not just with weapons, but with resolve. With advanced tools and coordinated precision, they launched a campaign to reclaim the fields that generations had cultivated. From the skies and across the plains, they faced the relentless herds head-on. It was more than a battle against animals. It was a fight to preserve the balance of nature, to save the heart of rural America from being devoured by chaos. From high above, the vast desert stretched endlessly beneath the roaring engines. Okmulgee and Liam hovered in their aircraft, scanning the ground scarred by wild hogs. Long trenches carved into the soil, shattered irrigation lines, and broken fields that once fed entire communities. What lay below wasn't just wilderness, it was the aftermath of an invasion. Through the morning haze, they could see the movement, dark shapes scattering across the barren earth. Every maneuver, every calculated response from the aircraft represented not aggression, but defense, a desperate stand to protect what generations had built. The precision of their mission was astonishing. From above, the coordination unfolded like choreography, a dance between man, machine, and the wounded land itself. The echoes from the sky weren't just sounds of power, they were the pulse of resistance. As the aircraft circled, the once chaotic landscape began to quiet, revealing the magnitude of the destruction left behind. Miles of farmland, once green and thriving, now bore the deep marks of the hog's rampage, an image burned into the memory of everyone who witnessed it. For Okmulgee and Liam, this wasn't sport, it was purpose, a vow to defend the earth from a threat that refused to stop. When the engines finally dimmed and silence returned, the land seemed to breathe again. not in victory, but in relief. That day, high above the broken plains, two men stood for thousands who had lost everything to a creature that nature itself could no longer control. While the sky thundered with the sound of engines above, down on the rugged plains, another battle was unfolding. Noah, with nothing but his trusted rifle and an old mountain bike, carried his own kind of determination. Moving steadily through the fields, he scanned the horizon with a sharp eye, focused, patient, unshaken. In his sights, the chaos below wasn't just a group of animals. It was the visible proof of destruction. Wild hogs had turned once fertile farmland into wasteland, uprooting fences, tearing crops, and leaving behind trails of ruin. Every shot Noah took was guided not by thrill, but by responsibility. The duty to protect the soil, the livestock, and the people who depended on them. Few know this, but Noah has spent more than a decade facing this threat. Since early 25 alone, his efforts have stopped over 800 wild hogs across forests, marshes, and open farmlands. Each one a reminder of how relentless the invasion has become. Numbers don't lie, and neither do the scars on the land. When you watch Noah in action, you don't just see a hunter. You see the embodiment of rural America's resilience, standing firm against a creature that has learned to thrive on destruction.
This one pretty hard now. They might not be opening up and they're just staying bloody solid. Wasn't expecting him to be run or not. Steve obviously scared because he was running from Steve's head.
As the sun dipped below the horizon, Noah and his team realized something had changed. The wild hogs had vanished from sight, hiding deep within the brush during the day. But nightfall was their time, so the team prepared for what they did best: night operations. When darkness covered the plains, the world turned silent, until the thermal cameras lit up. One by one, dozens of heat signatures emerged across the screen. The land was alive again, not with peace, but with movement, the kind that spelled danger for every farmer in the region. What followed wasn't chaos, but careful coordination, a mission born out of necessity. Noah and his partners worked in near silence, every move calculated, every decision deliberate. They weren't there for thrill or sport. They were there because if they didn't act, the land would suffer. To understand their urgency, you need to know what they know. A single female hog can give birth to 10 to 12 piglets twice a year. One family becomes a herd, one herd becomes hundreds. And in a matter of months, the ecosystem collapses. Left unchecked, these animals uproot forests, pollute rivers, and drive native species to extinction. That's why Noah and his team are out there, in the dark, doing what few are willing to do, standing between destruction and survival. It's not just a hunt, it's a duty, a calling to protect the balance of nature and the livelihood of those who depend on it, a quiet, noble fight for the land itself. Deep in the dense forests of Okmulgee, South Georgia, the wild hogs have turned paradise into chaos. With their snouts like living plows, they tear through the soil in search of roots and insects, leaving behind a landscape that looks like it's been shelled by artillery. Fields once golden with corn now lie shredded and barren. A single night's rampage is enough to erase an entire season's labor. They move like ghosts, a farmer in Okmulgee says. By the time you hear them, it's already too late. These feral hogs devour anything edible: corn, peanuts, sweet potatoes, sugar cane, even freshly planted seeds. Across Georgia, irrigation systems are ripped apart, fences flattened, and water lines destroyed. Nationwide, their rampage costs over $2.5 billion every year. But the fields aren't their only target. They invade the swamps and pine woods, raiding bird nests, eating frogs, snakes, and even small mammals. Native species like quail and ground-nesting birds have nearly vanished in areas where hogs have taken over. The once vibrant forest floor of Okmulgee has fallen silent, replaced by mud, hoofprints, and ruin. Worse still, these invaders carry more than 30 infectious diseases, including African swine fever, foot and mouth disease, brucellosis, and leptospirosis. A single infected hog crossing a farm can spread contamination to livestock, soil, and water within hours. At night, the danger moves beyond the woods. Along the back roads near Okmulgee, wild hogs weighing up to 400 pounds dart out of the dark, causing deadly accidents. Local police say some crashes look like a bomb went off under the hood, and just when people think they've seen the worst, the numbers explode again. One female can birth 10 to 12 piglets twice a year, multiplying faster than any predator can hunt them. Biologists warn that without strict control, hogs could soon dominate the entire region, choking out the life of every other species. In South Georgia, the battle for Okmulgee isn't just about protecting crops anymore. It's about defending the land itself before nature's balance is lost forever.
Oi. Aquela esse casal.
As the sun sets behind the Okmulgee forest, the gun smoke slowly drifts away with the evening breeze. Yet in the darkness creeping across the land, the footsteps of wild hogs have not stopped. This battle doesn't end in a single day. It's a long journey of humans defending their land, their crops, and their way of life. Because here in Okmulgee, even a moment of complacency, and nature will take it all back. You've been watching Wild Hunters, where we take you to the front lines of the battle against America's most dangerous invasive species. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join us in the next campaigns, where every shot, every journey is one step forward in the fight to protect the wild.